From the book, Divine Signs and Wonders, The Gift of Yeshua, by Dr. Anthony Townsend. Chapter 1, The Historical Context of Jesus' Miracles in the Book of Mark. Introduction. The Gospel of Mark, often regarded as the earliest of the four Gospels, provides a compelling narrative of Jesus' life, ministry, and miraculous works. Written in a time of significant social and political upheaval, Mark's account serves as a vital historical document that captures the essence of Jesus' miracles within the context of first-century Judea. This chapter seeks to explore the historical backdrop against which these miracles occurred, shedding light on the cultural, religious, and political factors that shaped the environment of Jesus' ministry. First-century Judea, a land under occupation. During the time of Jesus, Judea was under Roman occupation, a situation that profoundly affected the lives of its inhabitants. The Jewish people lived under the oppressive rule of the Roman Empire, which imposed heavy taxes and enforced strict laws. This occupation bred discontent and resentment among the Jews, who longed for liberation and the restoration of their sovereignty. The expectation of a Messiah, a deliverer who would free them from Roman rule, was palpable and deeply ingrained in the collective consciousness of the Jewish people. In this context, Jesus emerged as a figure of hope. His miracles, recorded in the Gospel of Mark, were not only acts of compassion, but also signs that pointed to his identity as the promised Messiah. The people of Judea were eager for signs and wonders, as they believed that such acts would validate the presence of God among them. The role of the Pharisees and religious leaders. The religious landscape of first-century Judea was dominated by various sects, including the Pharisees, Sadducees, and Zealots. The Pharisees in particular held significant influence over the Jewish populace. They were known for their strict adherence to the law and their emphasis on ritual purity. This legalistic approach often clashed with Jesus' teachings and actions, which emphasized compassion, mercy, and the spirit of the law. In Mark's Gospel, we see the Pharisees frequently questioning Jesus' authority and actions, especially regarding his miracles. For instance, in Mark 2:1-12, Jesus heals a paralytic, proclaiming his sins forgiven, a statement that incites outrage among the religious leaders. By performing miracles that challenged the established religious norms, Jesus positioned himself as a radical reformer, inviting the marginalized and oppressed to experience God's grace. Miracles as signs of the kingdom. The miracles of Jesus in Mark's Gospel are often framed as signs of the inbreaking of God's kingdom. They reveal not only his authority over physical ailments and spiritual oppression, but also his desire to restore humanity to wholeness. In Mark 1:32-34, we see Jesus healing many who were sick and possessed by demons, illustrating his compassion for those suffering under both physical and spiritual burdens. The historical context of Jesus' miracles cannot be divorced from the Jewish understanding of the kingdom of God. The prophets of the Old Testament foretold a time when God would intervene in history to establish his reign, characterized by justice, healing, and peace. Jesus' miracles served as a foretaste of this kingdom, demonstrating that God's redemptive plan was unfolding in their midst. Socioeconomic factors. The socio-economic conditions of first-century Judea also played a crucial role in the reception of Jesus' miracles. Many people were impoverished and marginalized, suffering under the weight of economic inequality exacerbated by Roman taxation and exploitation. Jesus' miracles provided hope and relief to those who were desperate for change. In Mark 6:30-44, the feeding of the 5,000 illustrates Jesus' concern for the physical needs of the people. This miracle not only addresses hunger, but also signifies God's provision and care for his people. By performing such acts, Jesus not only met immediate needs, but also affirmed the intrinsic value of each individual, challenging the prevailing social hierarchies. The nature of faith and response. The response to Jesus' miracles varied among different groups. While many were drawn to him and experienced healing and restoration, others remained skeptical or hostile. The expectation of the Messiah was often tied to political liberation, and Jesus' refusal to conform to these expectations led to misunderstandings and rejection. In Mark 5:25-34, we encounter the story of the woman with the issue of blood, who demonstrates profound faith by reaching out to touch Jesus' garment. Her healing exemplifies the personal nature of faith in the context of community and societal barriers. This miracle highlights the importance of individual faith in accessing the power of Jesus, contrasting with the skepticism of the religious leaders. Conclusion. The historical context of Jesus' miracles in the Gospel of Mark reveals a complex interplay of social, political, and religious factors that shaped his ministry. Against the backdrop of Roman occupation, religious expectations, and socio-economic struggles, Jesus' miraculous works emerged as signs of hope and divine intervention. Through his acts of healing and restoration, Jesus not only fulfilled the prophetic expectations of the Messiah, but also invited individuals into a transformative relationship with God. As we continue to explore the miracles of Jesus, it is essential to recognize the profound implications of these events for both the first-century audience and contemporary believers. The power of Jesus Christ, as demonstrated through his miracles, remains a source of hope and inspiration, calling us to embrace faith, compassion, and the transformative nature of God's kingdom in our own lives.